If you have caves as your human design environment, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when I say it's not necessarily the easiest environment to have. And as I just had a little situation in my personal life, I thought it's a good time to record a video again about caves and how you can deal with it better and how to understand it. So if you don't know me yet, my name is Leandra. I'm a human design specialist and I work in the holistic health field. And if you would like to work with me, you can find all my links down below. My human design readings are on sale at the moment for €122. So check it out and let's get started with caves. So there's 6, or then there's 2 categories of that. So altogether 12 environments in human design. And each of these environments is really crucial when it comes to nurturing your physical body, nurturing your well-being, nurturing your physicality. So that means that only if you are in your right environment, you will get all the opportunities and you will feel energized and you feel like yourself in order to go out in the world and have motivation to do things and the perspective, etc., to be yourself. So that's why it's so essential and crucial to get your body in place first, which once for all happens for your diet, and you can check out all the videos that I have on that as well. And second of all, the environment. And whereas nutrition and diet is important from birth until basically your whole life, but the environment only comes in at the age of 30. And that means that before that, you will probably already, when you look back, see tendencies, or you will get it in glimpses, but really it will show up and get really crucial for you around the age of 30. And I could really feel the shift in my life. Obviously, I'm still 21, but I could feel the shift around 30, let's be real. And I really noticed that a lot of things, that I kind of knew before, but weren't that important, just came to the forefront and really had a bigger impact on my life. So me being caves, or you, my caves brothers and sisters, you will probably already maybe know something about it. So caves is the first color, which means that it is on the base and it builds the foundation of all the environments, basically. So it comes from very ancient times, meaning these are the hunters and gatherers. So when people still used to live in caves, and therefore caves is a place where people were seeking safety and security, and they would live in this very secluded space. They would want to have an overview of it. So translated to the current times, that means that with caves, you need a very safe environment around you, an environment where you have the overview of everything, where you have the control over, and you know exactly who's coming in, who's going out, and maybe not so many people coming in, especially not from a foreign tribe. So you want to have a space that really feels like home, that you can make your own home, and that feels so safe that no one can look in, no one can enter if you don't want to, and ideally therefore only has one door and no maybe other places where people look in, like no window just in front of your window. So basically a very secluded space. Also, cave people like when the place feels a little bit more cozy and tucked in instead of like a huge place, because again, you cannot really oversee such a huge place. I used to live in a loft in Mexico, and I got super sick because I just did not feel comfortable. It was windows everywhere. It was just one open floor plan, and other people would maybe say, great, I love it. But for caves, this is really not optimal because you feel a little bit lost in that space actually, and you feel like you cannot trust, for example, also at night, and therefore I wasn't really able to sleep. So also having solid walls around you and not too much of window fronts, having like brick walls, for example, or not too high ceilings. So everything that feels like very cozy, very tucked in, a little bit maybe tending towards smaller spaces is ideal for caves. And let me know if that resonates with you, if you can also feel that. I certainly feel it because I just came from an apartment that did not feel like caves at all, and I felt very anxious and very nervous all the time, and now I find myself in a beautiful space which feels very much like a cave, living with another cave person, which is obviously makes so much sense. Cave people also really like when the place is not too bright and too light, and like to have a little bit more of like dark, dim light sources, so maybe candles or smaller lights, so keeping it a little bit dimmed down. And I definitely resonate with that too. I can sit in the darkness and just have a tiny little candle, and it feels very, very cozy, very relaxed. So you really want to make your space very comfy, very zen, very cozy, very dim, and not having like this major light source or huge window fronts. And also caves people don't really like when strangers, especially strangers they don't really like, walk in and out of the house. So maybe living on your own, or maybe just having one flatmate, or living with a partner that you know well and like, is very ideal for a cave person. Especially also because cave people like to have control over their space and like to do the things the way that they want to do it, in order to know what's going on and have the safety because of that. So maybe also when you live with someone, it could come to friction because you want to be in control of the space, right? So that's why cave people often also like to live on their own, or at least with someone they can really trust and they're very, very close with. What can happen when you are not having this space is that your physical body feels constantly tense, anxious. Like I was explaining my situation before, you get sick, you just feel not like yourself, you cannot really think straight. And for me, knowing that I'm cave was an absolute game changer, because I sometimes thought, why am I feeling like that in this space? There's no real reason for it, right? It looks beautiful, but that is the reason. And now you know, and now you can change something about it. So often if you're especially traveling or if you're visiting someone, that can actually be a dilemma, because you never know where you end up, right? So that means that you, or at least that's what I'm doing, I'm always checking all the pictures, I'm checking the surroundings. I really check very, very neatly before I book something, so I don't end up in a difficult situation, because I had that so many times before that I just needed to like cancel and move into another space because it was just not healthy and not sustainable for me. And that can and will probably happen, especially if you go traveling or like traveling, and that's okay as well. Like trial and error. I'm a 6'3", so trial and error is part of my process too, and maybe as yours as well. And that's okay, you know, like don't beat yourself up, but also be a bit careful when you book accommodation or when you arrange a living situation. Really see how does your body feel, especially if you're over the age of 30 or around 30. That becomes even more crucial. So yeah, let me know what you think. Did you have maybe also a cave situation? It's not the easiest, as I said, because it's really about fight or flight mode, danger, etc. And yeah, it can sometimes feel very overwhelming, whereas the other environments are a little bit easier to handle, I would say. So yeah, you just need to take a little bit of an extra care here. Also, cave people, by the way, love to work from home if the home is cozy, and sometimes have a difficulty getting out of the house, getting out of the cave, and definitely resonate. So maybe also picking a job where you can work from your cozy home could be a good idea for you. Anyways, if you want to book a reading, get more personalized guidance, you can find me, as I said, all the links provided down below. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love. And bye, my dear cave brothers and sisters. I see you next time.